as you.
Australia and New Zealand. My name is George Night Geo, and I'm here with Evan Newish. How's it going, bro?
I'm good, man. How are you? It's been a week. I'm excited to get back into it.
It has been a week. It's been a while. Like, I've been warmed up and excited. We've got some great games today. We are in week 6. A few changes happened over the week. We've got a few buffs, a bit of a nerf as well. What exactly could we be seeing in this week in terms of the hero pool?
I think still pretty diverse. It's hard having to get my head around what's now we're on live patch with Open and what we're seeing some in the international scene and even in the Premier scene, being a little bit back on the tournament. But still seeing a lot of Jaina. A lot of Jaina. I meant to say Raina, but a lot of Jaina. That works too. Expect to probably see some Alex Strazer as well.
Oh, yeah. I played a good Alex Strazer game before. It's just funny. You're the new Rhaegar with the Lifebinder ultimate. It's just so fun to do. And honestly, I'm excited to see if Artanis will get picked up. The buff to him, I was like, oh yeah, finally Artanis, and started just like hopping on, playing some quick matches and ranks, but I played poorly. I'm that rusty on him. Oh gosh. So yeah.
Sorry, go on.
No, I was gonna say like about the Artanis thing. It's just like it was funny as.
It's hard to get back to these heroes we haven't played in such a long time, and then when they get these little bit of a changes and stuff, you guys like, oh, remember how to, remember the swaps, remember all the, all that. So I haven't had a chance to actually play much on the new patch yet myself, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, with the first game of tonight, we are playing on Sky Temple, and the teams we'll be playing tonight are going to be.
First up, we've got We Left School for this. So currently number 1 seed, performing very strong like we saw last week, versus Crimson Academy. So started a little bit later, but they're certainly creeping up on that, top 2, 3, between 2 and 4 positions. So definitely in a spot where if they could have a good couple of strong weeks towards the end of the season, definitely putting them in a position for that Crucible spot for Premier.
Yeah, absolutely. Having started in week 3, and now they're actually just 1 game behind the tied 4th position, which is between Milkshake and I believe it was Funky Moon tying up for that 4th place, and they're only 2 games behind Pleb 2 Pro and Capital. So despite having that kind of 2 weeks deficit of being behind, they're actually playing predominantly well. They're only dropping at least 1 game a week at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, if they can take it to like Pleb 2 Pro, who go from good weeks to strong weeks to not so strong weeks. So if they can take it to them and like Capital, those 2, and that's going to help them close that gap real quick. Probably not going to close the gap to We Left School for this unless We Left School for this take the rest of the season off. But yeah, they definitely can vie for that 2nd spot, which is I imagine that's what they want to do.
Hey, absolutely. I mean, like, you got the top dog, and if Crimson can bring it to them in this first round in week 6. Not only would they definitely have a great running going into at least tied 2nd spot, even claim the 2nd spot, but then it just shows that these gods are titans that are We Left School for this can bleed as well. And that's what we're going to be seeing in this game. It's going to be exciting. We're ready, and let's hopefully get into it.
Fantastic. Should be a good game to get started with.
You're mine now.
Now, going to Sky Temple, I'm thinking something along the lines of we might see Yrel being banned, maybe Yrel being picked. She's very good at holding down one of the points, and either once with the rotation. But what else can we see? We're already seeing Jimmy being banned, and that's coming straight up from Crimson books.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree with the Yrel, especially on Sky Temple. She's unrivaled at the moment. Like watching her a little bit last night in the Premier Division, but she didn't necessarily win every game that she was in. She didn't have a 100% win rate, but still very, very impactful. There's not many solo laners that can put it up against her. But we've seen a Genji and a Zeratul, which Zeratul has been slowly creeping up a little bit the last couple of weeks. He's crept up in the international scene. His pick percentage has actually gone up a little bit, and his win rate's not too bad. So interesting, very meta band there.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that with his Void Prism could just work with so many wonders like Diablo, we've seen that kind of worked out in the Premier, I think a few weeks back. It works team composition, get the Wombo combo, just a great setup with him. And in Decade, it's just dangerous. You're all being banned, and now Crimson immediately picking up Dahaka. for that solo lane up in the top lane.
Yeah, so it's good solo lane, and Sky Temple really benefits having your globals too, so your Dahakas, your full stats, stuff like that. So that's a very good, strong pick. And then going into a very strong Muradin Phoenix. Again, very, very meta. So what we're seeing a lot of at the moment, very successful heroes. And, I mean, Muradin, whether it's Tanner plays the Muradin, I think, from Wheeler School for this, incredibly strong, incredibly good Muradin player. So, yeah, strong start.
Absolutely. If anything, also Alex Straza and Johanna being picked up. And we got to highlight, I doubt we're probably going to see Malfurion as much of a priority pick ever since he got Ice Block removed. So that would probably even open up the support role because Decade also receiving a slight nerf to his healing output. And Alex Straza, I'm really happy to see that she's creeping back up. And we might even see a Rhaegar as well, hopefully. And up to the next ban phase. And it's going to be Jaina right out the bat.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. Do you think that Crimson will do the support ban? I mean, give it a little bit of a choke. You got something like a Stukov who has getting some changes coming soon as well. Not quite in yet. Still a pretty strong hero. We saw him a little bit in Premier last night. But choosing to go the Blaze ban instead of doing the support, trying to choke them out a bit on supports.
I like the Blaze ban. I mean, you're now limiting just who is viable up in that solo lane. You've got Urel's already gone. The Hawk has been picked up straight away. Blaze has been banned. Who's left in the pool? You got Leoric, maybe Artanis. Fingers crossed. I don't know. But we're gonna get the Rhaegar and Sonya still available, and she gets picked up for that solo lane.
Yeah. So Sonya, I mean, someone we've definitely seen a lot in the past. With the rise of probably Blaze, I think we started to see a lot less Sonya, and then with Urel. So it's nice to see it kind of with these third bans. It's good we're getting to see a lot more variety. So we can see the things like the Sonya. Like I said, Leo. Leo's been pretty prominent. We saw a fair bit of Leo last week, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, and interesting, a Maev coming in on the end, which is hero that we see a little bit, gets to see banned occasionally. So it's interesting to see making it back into a game again.
Yeah, I don't recall having seen a Maev in open division for quite some time, actually, and not in the past few weeks, on top of my memory. But Li Ming, rounding that up, getting the bit of a distance mage burst potential, hopefully maybe even the resets. Good holding down, locking down the area, and just a reliable pick in that. Great boss control as well. And that's what something Crimson need to be aware of, is the fact that now with the Hanzo being picked up, you got that boss control for the Sand Golem himself down there. And all in all, two strong lineups, really. And I don't know where to put my money down for it, but you wish. On to you. What do you think?
It's hard. We had the same conversations last week, I think, when we saw We Left School for this. Every league at the moment, everyone is saying King Gods bleed. It's Mind Freak in Premier League. It's Dignitas, or it's Gen G when we're talking about Korea. We Left School for this are very much almost in that position for our little open league down here in ANZ. So I think I can't really go against them. The numbers too, Muradin, much better. Johanna was seeing a lot of. Internationally, has actually had a very terrible win rate. It's something like 34%. So even though everyone thinks she's great, she's not really actually pulling it off. So I think at the moment, I'm going to have to stick with my boys We Left School for this. What about you?
Well, it's kind of hard to line with the facts. I mean, We Left School for this week in, week out, have at least been performing 4 wins, haven't dropped in games. They've only dropped, I believe, 3 out of 6 weeks of competing in open divisions. And that's a really, really good track record. Crimson, though, I'm always a fan of the underdogs and a fan of an upset victory. So just for this, I would love to see an upset victory. And if that's the case, Crimson will just propel them up the leaderboards and just show them to be the next big threat compared to We Left School for this. But we're going to hop into game shortly, and this is going to be a good one. A large map, though, and the rotations is going to be more important. So you got the Haka with the global, but what does We Left School for this have to offer in response to that, really?
Yeah, you're right. Going into not having the global, that puts them at a little bit of a disadvantage. So we'll see. And We Left School for this. We've got Tanner on the Muradin, like we thought, Jester on the Phoenix, All G on the Sonya, Helium on the Rhaegar, and the Geezer on his Hanzo.
And on the red side, rocking Crimson Academy, you got Matt playing Lee Ming, Morden on Johanna, Luke with the Maiev, Pulse Croxley on Alexstrasza, and finally Raven. We're playing the Dahaka for this lineup, and immediately we're heading for that control over the viewpoint. But they're going to get themselves a Phoenix. He gets interrupted, and Jester's going to drop Bolt, and he falls down. That's already his first kill. Going towards Crimson Academy, and they're showing it to the gods themselves. One misstep, and they're all over them.
Yeah, that was really, really well played. They, instead of deciding to fight in the mid lane like we quite often see, fighting over that viewpoint. And, Luke, I forgot, first time we saw Crimson Academy, Luke was a very impactful player. So I'm going to be very intrigued to see how he performs on this Maiev.
Yeah, definitely. He's going to see what he can do. He's a playmaker himself. And in top lane, Raven getting ganked by Tanner on that Murder, and he'll be able to back away. That's just the haka for yourself. He'll be able to sustain quite easily once he gets his essence built up. And was a great interrupt though, and that's what I've got to highlight. I believe that was off Johanna. Condemn just denied Phoenix's walk away. And that's a great pickup kill. Now seeing them just rotate around, get themselves the Merc camps, setting themselves up for the Temple phase once that activates in just a few minutes' time. And really, what would it be to get the first rotation? Like, where would we see it? Would we see heading to the top lane, the middle one at least, for that Temple control for the teams? Or are we seeing just more of a brute force battle fight like we're seeing in the mid lane when they're just zoning Tanner away from the mid?
I mean, typically coming into our first rotations, we see a little bit of the tussle, left in that mid lane. So, yeah, the early game, it's always a struggle to try and figure out what the teams will or won't do for these first couple of minutes of the game. I feel like sometimes we run around in circles, trying to predict what they may or may not do.
No, definitely. That's so true on that point. It's just, at this caliber, these players are very well renowned. They're quite skilled in what they do, and even the rotations and map pressure and map awareness. They know what to do. Crimson Academy getting the training and coaching and guidance from their mother team or sister team, Crimson themselves, really kind of have that advantage, but we left school for this. Just a consistently performing team, so don't ever count them out. Despite being slightly behind in the XP lead, it's not that much. But maybe if we head towards that level 7, if they can try and at least get there, put a system once the temples come alive in.
Yeah, for sure. As they start getting those shots, we start getting some of those structures down, the experience starts pulling out, and we can see, hopefully they can start making something happen.
Yeah, gotta agree with that. Get the night camp secured by Crimson Academy, and it's interesting, and I like the idea of what we left school for this are doing. They're holding back on securing the night camp, and only because once the knights have pushed up in the top lane, it will be easier to defend because the wave will be up at their turrets, so they have not only the night camp but also turrets to at least deal with the enemy night camp, as well as being able to clear that and have control and easy guidance towards two shrines. Seeing top lane Raven will be ducking it out with the OG. In the middle one, you got Tanner jumping in. He's gonna get stunned. He's forced to leap away and back off as Crimson Academy solidify the control in the middle temple.
Yeah, and Tanner getting away with his second win helps Burden help so much. He's falling a little bit maybe behind on his perfect storm. His level 1 talent. He's only at 3 stacks at the moment, but he's just playing tag at the moment, kind of just holding off the point with a couple of his members up in top lane. But we're getting the rotation now down from Williamsburg.
In they come. They will be conceding the top temple. All the shots did fire up into the top foot themselves, but they're trying to hold off Tanner around the halfway point of his health pool. He's going to be lingering around, see what he can do, try to interrupt at least a little bit of disarray for the team. Sonya has rotated down, misses a spear, so she's not going to get into the gauge. Tanner's quite low, forcing him to back off, and that's going to be Rhaegar being picked off for themselves, and finally Dragon Queen. The Pulse Croxley just blowing away. I'm the Animal Queen here. And that's going to force up the temple for Crimson Academy. 1-for-1 trade, not too bad. Crimson at least getting the head of that in that kind of trade, I believe.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Crimson had a few shots, a couple of shots from the top as well. So between that and pretty much all of the shots in mid, I think Crimson got a little bit more value out of that. It's not really showing it at the moment. But as the game progresses, a little more shots here and there, those buildings get lower. They're going to get more experience as they get closer and closer to 10.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what we're going to be worried about because the XP is quite even. Despite structural, I guess, advantage leaning towards Crimson, they did do more damage towards that middle fort, and that'll help open up once the next temple phase comes down, which is going to be in the bottom lane, and it's going to see towards whether they get the knights, but Morden has to be careful. We'll pop Iron Skin to just walk away fine and dandy. Luke looking to see if he gets a cheeky engage, will not follow up through with that shadow of his, but Jester has to back away. That damage to Fan of Knives is insane, bro.
That was, yeah. I mean, Crimson really taking it to We Left School for this, aren't they?
Jester has been the priority target from Crimson Academy. They're just setting their sights on him. If they can get him tilted in some way, the damage dealer for We Left School for this can force them an advantageous engagement. But that's really good from Crimson Academy. They're really taking it to the gods. They're showing them that they can be scratched at least. But once we get to level 10 and once those 10 talents come up, that's where the whole new ball game begins, buddy. And that is when We Left School for this just switch on and they just demolish.
It's true, and it's worth noting, even with those 3 kills, Crimson isn't ahead of We Left School for this in experience. It's pretty much dead on. So they're doing it, you know, they're holding their head together. Sonya's doing a great job pushing that Dahaka in that lane. As Hannah makes a bit of a jump out.
Yeah, he's quite low, but he will be able to get away. And there we go. The salvo is popped for who will fall to be Hanzo falling first, followed by the Rhaegar. Luca will get life binded, so he's all good and dandy. And it's 2 members down for We Left School for this, just as Temple Phase has opened. Meanwhile, this is happening, though. Sonya is dealing with the top fort, but a 2-for-0 exchange and potentially free shots from that Temple. Crimson are just on fire tonight.
Yeah, they are. I mean, that's to come out of that fight 2-for-0. They used all of their heroics to get there. Rhaegar didn't get his Ancestral off, and there was no Dragon Arrow used. So you could say in a different scenario, We Left School for this maybe a bit more ready, or if they initiate the fight, it could turn out to be different. But for the moment, you know, take those 2 kills, take this temple, and, you know, they're putting themselves in a good position. There's no doubt about that.
So be careful because the Haka does have his bush stock ready, but the engage has begun. Jess is so low, he's going to get blown up to smithereens. Everyone's locked up, Hannah falls, followed by the Rhaegar. That's 3 members down for nothing. And Crimson Academy are just on fire tonight, you wish.
Yeah, like, you can't really fault what they're doing at the moment. Whether they've just got them on a dime, they just know what they're doing. Whether it's the, you know, we're seeing Morton as the main tank, maybe that's providing him a, you know, really good solid front line. He's a very experienced player. We've seen him around a lot before. But yeah, they're just reaping all of the benefits. And We Left School for this, you know, limping away, extremely wounded.
They're definitely showing that gods can lead. We were talking about it. You got every region has just that team that just performs and performs. But then I guess every Superman has their kryptonite, and I feel like Crimson are showing that they might have found the weak point for We Left School for this. They do secure themselves the boss. It's going to help at least apply some pressure, pushing that advantage in the bottom lane. Also get some siege camps, why not? But Night Camp is their next focus, and they're pushing up to the top lane. At least pressurize that top, drop the wall if anything, because the next temple phases are going to be in the middle and bottom lane.
Yeah, and yeah, We Left School for this managed, you know, that boss, he scratched that bottom gate on that bottom keep. So, you know, with the Hanzo, the Phoenix, they've got pretty good clear. They were lucky they got that clear before they took too much more damage. But now, you know, we're looking there about a level behind. They'll have 13 for the next phase, but at this point, Crimson Academy is probably they're just going to eke out a little bit more and more of an advantage.
Ooh, Raven was just sitting in that bush waiting. Peter had to back away. He's now down to half health, but they will secure this top fort, extending their lead. Now they're about a level and a half, nearly 2-level advantage with the XP range. We Left School for this. Probably I agree with you that at least 13, maybe before the temple phase starts, but Crimson ain't given no time for that. They're pushing up top lane. They're going to secure at least the wall and maybe 2 turrets as well. That's 1 turret down, that's 1 wall down. They're just taking it nicely with that Night Camp. It's really healthy at this point.
Yeah, that's it. And by doing this too, they're denying We Left School for the ability to move out.
Oh, Tanner gets focused. He gets isolated, gets dragged in. Now it's going to be Sonya. But the Ancestral Healing did come in to save Geezer on Hanzo. And that is a few ultimates blown up. Avatar's gone. Dragon Arrow's gone. You even lost themselves Ancestral Healing. And Crimson, they know this. They're going, Luke goes in, top the wall and Cage. They're fighting, going guns blazing. And that's going to be the first member down. Rhaegar. All about Salvo. Can he do something? Can he get any damage? No, Jester has to back away. Matt is so damn low. But Lifebinder will bring him back up to scratch. It ain't nothing that bad. And already one member down. Temple phases are up and ready. And Crimson are in the driver's seat for this game, you wish.
Yeah, I mean, most definitely the scoreboard's looking at. We a two level lead. They're getting close to 16. If these temples can take down some structures, they're going to hit that. That's 9 kills to 0. They're just in a complete commanding lead. I feel like we left school for this. Something's happened. They're just not playing the normal level that we normally see them at.
You know, maybe we could call Ben today. You know, having ANZ internet. Who knows? But also the fact is, you're off the leaderboard. We left school for this. Maybe it's just the first game Blues. They have dropped some games throughout the tournament, but they're still a terrorizing team and a terrifying team to verse anyway. But Crimson are just playing an A game tonight. They're hit level 16. They got the talent tier advantage again. The bottom temple is still up and active, and we're seeing Crimson rotating down. Raven's going to be forcing himself in to secure the last little bit of ticks. But Matt, he wants Sonya's blood, forcing the Ancestral Healing out, but that's about it. And we're going to see them back away, also getting that temple last few ticks down there.
Until I choose otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, with that talent and 2-level advantage, Crimson can just take whatever they want, and at the moment, we left school for this, don't really have anything to reply. They just kind of have to play it safe, try and soak that experience, be ready for, the next phase. We've got the boss coming up in another minute. That's all they can do. The last thing they want to start doing is staggering their deaths.
Definitely, got to agree. You can't afford to make any mistakes now, just as we're heading into that really clutch time. Double phase again, top and bottom this time, you wish. Got the night camp spawning on towards the side of We Left School for this. Meanwhile, the right-hand side camp, those knights are up in 15 seconds, so that's going to be 2 mercs possibly for Crimson to take. But instead, they're deciding to siege down in the bottom lane, maintaining that advantage and knowing that there's still a full level behind before We Left School for this do get their 16 talents, and they're trying to pressurize with this advantage they have.
Yeah, that's it. And with the next temple phase coming too, we've got that bottom temple. So if take anything out of this keep with these, even if they don't get the keep, then the next temple phase they're going to push that. And if they can hold that point, then they're easily going to get that bottom keep.
Oh, buddy, Jester gets blown up again. That was Luke engaging, followed by Morden on Johanna the Condemn, and even a Warden's Cage just for securing that kill. That was insane. Jester has been the #1 hitman for Crimson. There's a contract out for him, and they've been showing it. They're going for it. Dropping this keep down to at least half health. Morden, he still wants some blood. Tanner, they can get slowed down and they're trying something. But Hanzo has to back away. They've got to be careful, because if they lose any more members, this could be potentially a keep and maybe some core damage. But Crimson backing away. They know that Temples are up in 4 seconds, and they're playing it smart this time.
Yeah, and Luke, I think, really proving to us why we see Maiev banned when she does. He's just the impact that he's having with those Umbral binds. Like you said, he dropped the Warden's Cage then more as a, just to back up a bit of a defense. But there was just with that there was nothing that they could do. They couldn't push out, and they just were easily able getting these kills.
Dragon's Arrow is up in 5 seconds, 16 equal talented. If they want to fight, Willis will have to fight now. But there is Jester. He gets backed away, forcing Raven to go into his borrow. And it's going to be a little back and forth. Dragon Arrow is still up. Salvo still up. Ancestral Healing as well as Avatar. All the ultimates for We Left School for this is still there. But Crimson did burn a few of them. All they've got is just the Harkers left. And they're going to try and see if they can eat in. They have to go in. They're going to go in. There comes the Dragon's Arrow. But Tano's so down low. Salvo's out. But it can't happen. Ancestral Healing does not come out in time, and he falls. And they're forcing now. Let's move this to back way. Sonya will be the sacrificial lamb.
I'm speechless. I mean, Crimson are just playing absolutely flawlessly at the moment. Can't fault anything that they're doing. We left school for this. They had that opportunity. That was the fight that they needed. That was a good call to make that fight. They'd saved their heroics. but unfortunately they just couldn't pull it off.
If only Tanner could pop Avatar a slight second earlier, I believe that could have turned the fight around. But yeah, I gotta agree. You can't fault Crimson. They've just been playing phenomenally this game, and I'm happy. I mean, like the underdogs, they're coming in, they're causing an upset. But damn, Hanzo's just gonna fall, and now they're just taking what they please. And that is Crimson for you. Jester's gonna fall, gets blown up. No, he does manage to walk away, followed by the Ancestral Healing, so he's back to full health, but he can't do much. Tanner and Sonya are going to be in the middle of something. They're getting caught up by that Warden's cage. What can they do? Looking around, OG's down. He falls. He ain't OG tonight. Jester's going to fall as well, followed by Tanner. And that is just Crimson just saying, GG, we've got this. And they have shown gods can not only bleed, but they can fall and potentially die. You wish, what a game.
Yeah, I mean, what a start to the night. We saw some flawless play last week. We left school for this left. They looked untouchable, and yeah, Crimson coming out saying, "No, look, we're here. We got this coaching from this Premier League side. We want to make that. We're looking for that crucible spots, and that's putting their stake in the ground. Getting that win against We Left School for this means they can take that energy into playing against teams like Pleb to Pro, Capital. Means the next couple of weeks are really going to fire up those two spots. Yeah. We Left School for this. They'll still be fine. They're number one. They're a long time before they need to start worrying. But those other teams now, they're going to have to really knuckle down and to fight for that second spot. It's up for grabs.
I got to agree with you that Crimson Academy, they missed 2 weeks, but now they're showing that they're a force to be reckoned with, and they're looking very, very scary. We're going to go and take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to bring you some great more action in this HEC Open Division for tonight. See you later.